Hi, this is Jack Stanley, and I wanted to discuss and show very quickly Climax disc records. Now, I did the history of the Columbia Phonograph Company from its earliest years up to about 1902 already on here, but I wanted to throw in some of the Climax labels. I did put a few of them in that previous thing, but I didn't put them all there. So, what I would like to do is show you some examples. There is a total of 6 different types of labels that you could possibly have with markings. Let me just clarify that. The first label that they came up with is very simple. It has a embossed label, and it basically says just Climax Record, Globe Record Company, New York. All the information it gives you. This is the beginning of the Climax record, going back to July, August of 1901. Now, it's followed shortly after by another label, which, of course, is a record with a label on it. And if you look carefully, you will see the embossing underneath the label. That's the number 2 label. Then, of course, there is the third label, which is like this. It has no real major marks on it, just the numbers of Climax Records. Then, of course, was the raid by Eldridge Reeves Johnson on the Globe Record Company, where they affixed onto every master that was available there with VTM, as you will see here. VTM is on the record right there in that round circle. That's another variation. And the last variation, which there are 2, will have either the VTM on it or the VTM off it. And this is the last label for the Climax. This is mid-1902, just before they stopped. This does not have VTM on it, which means it was recorded in 1902, in the end of the Climax period. Just a couple of things also about Climax records. They're rare. More Berliners were made, more Pre-Dogs by Johnson. They're a rather rare label, and you don't see them very often. And their history leaves sometimes more questions than answers. We know that the Globe Record Company was part of the Burt Company of Millburn, New Jersey, and a deal was worked out with the Columbia Phonograph Company to produce disc records on the QT, more or less. A lot of hijinks were going on at the time, but eventually they got the Joseph Jones patent in December of 1901, which would change everything for Columbia. But you have those 3 different main labels, but you do have some variations within. And don't forget the Victor Talking Machine Company. It's a wonderful history. The Columbia Company is a fascinating history because it was so different than Victor. Victor seemed to be so organized on a straight path, and Columbia would venture and jump here, there, and everywhere.